What's up, D? Some rock and roll. We'll get it going. Bring it in. Let's go. Rock and roll. Good stuff. All right. Well, bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tuesday night. Lots of beautiful, wonderful things happening in the world, right? Oh, what are we doing, world? What are we doing? I don't know. I don't know myself. We got people going through hurricanes. We got hurricanes blasting up through the United States. We got hurricanes flooding out people in the Northeast. Good batch of storms through today. I don't know. It's crazy. That's just the weather. That's just the weather. I was conversing with someone earlier, and we were pontificating. That's what we were doing. Pontificating. We were talking about, things like the plan and, the direction of where everything's going and what everything's doing. We were talking about it, and, one theory was that this is really going to have to go all the way. This was not my theory, but one theory was it's got to go all the way to the end, and everything that's horrific with communism needs to be implemented. And I was of the other persuasion that no, I don't believe it's that way. No, mind you, I mean, we're going to find out, right? We have no choice. We're along for the ride, as I think I might have put it. We're along for the ride. You've been prepared the best that can be prepared for the ride, but you are along for the ride. We're all along for the ride. And we have been for the whole time. But how you feel on this ride, your level of comfort, all of that is dependent on where you are in your knowledge. That depends on how you feel through the ride. Yeah, and we will talk more about that because it was interesting. When I started thinking about it, does this really need to go full blown communism before people will awaken? And man, I sure don't feel it. I don't think it has to. No, they're bringing it fast and they're bringing it really, really furiously. But that's desperation. That's desperation that we're seeing out of them. Total desperation. You are seeing people rise up in your local communities. I know I said it last time, but you are. Parents have had enough. Enough. No mas. No mas. The parents say no more. No more. You will not do this to our children. collectively, any one of those individuals talking to a school board by themselves looks like a finger pointing to them. But when all those parents are together, it looks like two fists. Pow! And they are just laying the smack into that community board, the school board. And not that I condone them being afraid, but some of them are afraid and flee because they just don't like conflict. I just don't simply like conflict. It's not my thing. I'm not into conflict. I'm on the school board, for God's sakes. Well, they need to hear from us. And somebody that's upset with, what's going on, that's not really a conflict. That's just a difference of opinion. And parents are waking up. That's the main point I want to make. Parents are showing up in large numbers. There's a lot of strength going on the local level, at least here. What's up, Cellar Door 33? D. Nozawa. The wonderful, beautiful island of Hawaii is calling me, my friend. I need to come out there and help you. Hoe some rows. Hoe some rows. I'll bring the wife. We'll both hoe some rows. Yeah, well, Celador says that people are freaked out that what's happening in Australia and New Zealand, thinking that we're next. Yeah, but the reality is that, man, isn't it crazy how much the government is freaking out in Australia and New Zealand? It is. If we sit back and we just think about it for half a second, think about how much they're really, really pushing down the thumb of authority onto the people. The people are not happy at all. I bet they wish they didn't give up their weapons when they did, but they did. And they wish they had them now, but they are fighting back. They are cutting off the channels, the lines. They're not allowing commerce to the best that they can. They're trying to be loud, best they can. Best they can. But it's not just there. It's not just New Zealand. It's not just Australia. You're seeing an awakening of people that are in Great Britain. You're seeing an awakening of people in France and Italy. They're everywhere. They're rising up. They are rising up and putting their voices together, and they're saying, we're not doing this anymore. I love it. I love seeing it. I swear I do. I really do. People are rising up. Humanity is reawakening. We are learning how to love one another as mankind again, as we rise up together in defiance of this tyranny which is in front of us. If you don't see it by now, I feel bad for you, but for those of you that see it, man, you must really see it right now, because it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It's getting terrible. There's no going back for the deep state. There's no chance that they go back on this. There's no way they go, just kidding. Oopsies. How about a do-over? No, there won't be any do-overs. You're right where I want you. You're right where I want you. I've got you right where I want you. And I'm about to go, checkmate. Checkmate. I don't know how it's coming. I don't know exactly when it's coming. I only know that it's coming. Because these people are losing their minds on regular television. These people don't know what they're doing. They don't know if they're coming or going. They're finished. They're finished. I was talking to my buddy earlier, Justin Trudeau. He is campaigning right now in Canada for his position. He shortened the timeline between when he's actually supposed to go for re-election and when he goes. He shortened it up under like the pandemic. And people aren't having it. People are showing up. People are yelling. People are shouting. And they're not just saying things like, boo, you suck. They're going like, fuck you. You're a traitor. You're a fucking traitor. They're yelling at him, man, like hard. And today they were throwing like stones and pebbles and shit. They were picking them up and like chucking it at them. Like, get back on your bus. Get back on your bus. We don't even want to hear from you. We don't even want to hear anything that's got to come out of that suck in the middle of your face. Just shut your face. Because none of us care anything you have to say. Because you are a deep state puppet with the deep state hand firmly betwixt your buttocks. It's right up between your buttocks, Lieutenant Dan. And that's where the deep state hand is right in his buttocks. Totally. And he's got deep state, well, money, but he's got real world problems, as I suspect many of them are going to have. And that's AKA us, the awoke. The awoke, hardworking, common man, common woman. We're just common amongst what we do. We go to work and we survive, and we just teach morals on to those that, we come into contact with. We just teach them morals, and you fucks have definitely messed it up. Somebody is definitely pissed in my pie. They pissed in the pie of America. I mean, once you do that too, you can't take it out of the pie. Like, they did it. They don't even care. They didn't care. They're like, you know what? You low rented Americans, we should have pissed twice in your pie. If we could go back and do it all over again, we'd have pissed twice or 3 times in your pie. That's how we feel about you. That's exactly how we feel about you. And that's how they feel about us. So to them, I say, good day. Whatever a traitor's justice is, let it be served. However flavor and form that comes in, let it come. Let it be. Let it happen. Just let it come. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. So I managed to walk away from the earphones. Can you still hear me? I assume you can. Hey, there's a man I haven't seen in a minute. What's up, James Rohrbach? Nice to see you, man. D says our military is starting to fight against the jab. They are. They're gonna. It's happening. The defiance is off the Richter scale of where your average American is, as far as what they couldn't come at a better time, but people really are woke. They're waking up. It's almost hard to gauge how quickly they're waking up. And some we won't even know that they're waking up. We're not going to know. It's happening like on that level. It kind of feels like, as people just, nobody could screw up what they've screwed up in the last 8 months that has been screwed up on every level. Now, including what you know about the therapeutics of COVID-19, the ones that work. And when there are therapeutics that work, as you know, there's no use for a universal emergency use act. They don't have that. Therefore, they can't mandate the jab. And the military is much smarter than we give them credit for. Not me, not any of you, but Then the world they just and truthfully, any of us that were in the military before, I told you this story before. When I was in the military, when I was 20-year-old Bill, 19-year-old Bill, and they would have said you need this COVID-19 jab, I would have said put it in me. I mean, the government's not going to hurt me, right? I mean, they got my best interest in mind, right? Of course they do. Land of the free, home of the brave, and the ignorant. And ignorant is exactly what they wanted out of me going into the military. Me and everybody else I went in with. Blind ignorance, follow orders, hide everything under the love of country, and just on the upper levels, just give away all those freedoms. Just, oh, it is so disastrously bad what they've done to this country, you guys. The precipice that I even went into the Marine Corps over is bullshit. The whole narrative I went in is bullshit. If I would have died, lost a limb, lost my wife as a result of being in over my patriotism, I'd be so mad. It's so bad. What they did is not rectifiable in any way. There's no money. There's nothing they could do to ever rectify this, except they could publicly own it. And then they could publicly, stoically march to what they know they deserve. And if they did that, I could at least look at them if they did that and go, well, I guess you were stoic for a piece of shit traitor, which, you know, the gloves are off. Why even sugarcoat it? Why, you know, I'm having fun with it, but it's crap. What they did is garbage. Garbage. They don't deserve any honor. They don't deserve anything. Nothing. They don't deserve somebody being nice to them through their demise. When they get arrested, they actually don't deserve it. I believe in humility. I believe in it, but they certainly don't deserve it. It hasn't been earned. They deserve public shaming like in the 17 and 1600s when people would show up and throw freaking fruit at you and lettuce and cabbage, and they'd whip you and hit you in the face with that shit. Here's a tomato for you, lad. You're done. Have some. Enjoy it. They won't be able to walk down the streets. That also was not a catchphrase. That's a real phrase. Trudeau can't walk down the street right now. Guy's trying to get reelected. He can't. That's one dude in a very powerful position, man. These people will not be able to walk down the streets. Why? We are the news now. You've been told as much. You are the news now. We're all the news now. Nobody goes to the mainstream television for any lick of their news. None of it. Not any of it. We find it in our trusted sources that we find. And with the hive mentality, we get it. Everybody gets it. And some go off the reservation and they think wild claims of this or this have to happen. And that's okay. We need dreamers. We need other people that don't put as much stock into it, and they say, well, I don't really think anything's going to happen. I really think Antifa's in charge in this. We need those people in the movement too. We need them all so that the hive is brilliant. And the hive has been properly nurtured for 4 years. It's been properly fed all the right ingredients. Everything that matters in this country, in this world, has been dropped and received into the heart of real American loving patriots that don't care about much else in life, to be honest with you, except that this whole thing succeeds. Because when the veil's been lifted from your eyes and you sit and you take it in, and I know I I talk about this, but when you really do it and you really look at it and you see what it actually means, the complete reversal of what we've been led to believe and what reality is mind blowing. Even for the most hardened, awakened person out there. Even you're going to be surprised when this is over. And I'm in that camp too. It's going to be hard. I can't wait to be surprised. We already know that things are coming on the horizon already with these drugs, therapeutics that they've said cure this current pandemic disease, as well as highly speculated and in trials now, numerous other things. Numerous other things that I won't list because there's trigger words, but everybody knows somebody that's died of one of these things that it cures, allegedly. And I mean, everybody knows somebody. Did Trump strike a deal with the Taliban? Maybe. Yes, he did. Is that a little backdoor secret he's got going on? He's waiting to play his hand with the Taliban? I think so. It looks like it. Certainly would appear so. Trump got a backdoor deal with Kim Jong-un from a few years ago. We already knew that. The answer to that is yes. They've got every exit blocked. They have every single move strategized for. The deep state already knows they've lost this game. It's only a matter of how many moves before they run out of moves. And that day is coming quick. Things are ramping up. Things are moving quickly. The deep state is running quickly out of moves. And yeah, they could get desperate. So yes, keep your head on a swivel. As I've always said, as we've always said, as the Hive has always said, keep your head on a swivel. As many of you do. I know you do. But you have to. Because this is real. It's the real deal. People that are still awake or asleep, people that are just now starting to wake up, they don't realize how real this is. If they thought for a second one of you or me or any of us could jeopardize their plans, they would take us out like a grease stain out of a shirt. They would take you out. And they would hammer you until they got rid of you. And they just would. And there's so much evidence that proves that they would. But the only reason that people, like, maybe it doesn't seem real to people is maybe because they don't know the people that have been wiped out. But if you look at the list of how many people have been wiped out that have had any kind of information or association with certain people in life, it's ridiculous. It's beyond the point of even laughing about. It's so far beyond ridiculous that it's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy. Like, how is it possible you have this many people that have dealt with you in business that have ended up dead? And that's one family, one name that you all already know the name of. But it's that times all the power broker families that have gone on forever. And the shit they used to do before technology took over, they used to do some real heinous shit to us, humanity. Having fun at the expense of our everything. These are not good people. And Trump even said it. These people do not have your good in mind. That's why he said our campaign represents an existential threat, unlike anything they've ever witnessed before. We were told it, guys, before he even became president, we were told what he was going to do. We didn't know how it was going to go. And yes, I'm sorry, we have to be along for the ride. We have to get through all of this. But you have to get through this, because you have to be there for the people that are just now going to wake up to this shit. And they're not going to know what's going on. And there's going to be a lot of them. And hopefully it's drug out long enough that most people will go, is this something like what you were trying to tell me 2 years ago? And you'd be like, it's exactly what I was trying to tell you. And they go, okay, I'm ready to listen. And they do that instead of going, ah! Save me. Save me, Seymour. Can't save you. Got to save yourself. Knowledge is power. You got to get the knowledge into you. You got to wake up out of this dream, people. You have to wake up out of this dream. What's up, Toyota Kawasaki? You got to wake up out of this dream, liberal friends. You know, the liberals are lucky that the people that are awake and the Republicans, for the most part, have a lot of love in our heart. We care. Because if we handled them the way that they've handled us for the last year and a half, these people wouldn't have a prayer when this all starts going on, man. They wouldn't have a prayer. They wouldn't have no clue. No clue. Nothing. They'd have no idea, and they would, but we're going to step up. We're going to help them. We have to help them, because it means that maybe your great-great-granddaughter one day or great-great-grandson one day might have somebody give them a fair shake in life, because everything in their world mapped out because somebody was nice to their great-great-grandma when they were little. And they were just simply caught in the cog of bullshit that was the asleep American. Now, we'll help wake these people up. We will. We're going to put our big arms around them. We're going to tell them we love them. And then we're going to demand they shape up. They better fucking shape up. So we get through this ride and you don't shape up, then, you know, you can go to Gitmo with the rest of them, just ship out. Because honestly, humanity doesn't need you. The amount of evidence is sick. There's so much. Oh, look at me. I've been selected to win a free gift. Isn't that interesting? Well, let me get right on that. James says they're blessed that we're led by morals and love. And I agree with that. We are blessed that we're led by morals and love. The very reason that all of us are awake is that whoever decided that they were going to get this message out to people in the first place, they came out and also gave the truth with morals and love. It's a reason we all get it. Everybody's not at the same learning curve. But had they not come out with loving correction or loving breadcrumbs or what have you to show us in the first place, then none of us would be here to even talk about it to any of you. No, this is a movement. This is about building each other up. It is about wrapping your arms around each other and saying, you know what, you might not agree on everything. You might not, and that's okay. It's better to agree. It's better to, you know, care about something the same, but it's not necessary. There's all kinds of ways to get to the finish line, and we're all getting there. And I find in life, man, forget social media. In life, I have had more tests in my life in the last 2 or 3 weeks with people that I love dearly. Man, this has been a very difficult journey. It's been very difficult. These are people that I love that have been vaccinated twice, talking about getting the booster. Love Chris Cuomo, love CNN. And it's very difficult. It's so difficult to watch them go through this. I love these people. I'll tell you what. but they have to go through it. And I wouldn't have dreamed that I could know what I know today and have anybody in my life that I could share the information with be completely off the reservation with the information. I did not see that coming. And perhaps I have a learning opportunity in front of me in the not so distant future when this all maps out. Maybe I'll learn something about myself that I didn't know. But I tell you, man, it's difficult. It just tells me, it gives me proof that people need to live through this, and however they're going to wake up, they're going to wake up. If you've tried, if you've done your part, then that's all you can do. That's all you can do. It's the best you can do. You know? But it feels like that time's coming real soon. Real soon. Holy cow, man. It's going on 1 o'clock up here in the Great White North of Michigan. Beautiful August rolled out. Now we're into wonderful September. Septembers in Michigan are beautiful. Tell you what, they are. Towards the end of the month, we start getting into the color change, which lasts into October, of course. Usually really nice 70, high 70s. It's nice, man. September gets shit on everywhere in life. Not here. It's great. I played many rounds of golf in September. I'll tell you what. Going on midnight for D. Yeah. Seeking inspiration, looking for inspiration. I know God's inspirational. It's always easy to go to God. God's an easy one. Go to him all the time. He's always there. God is always there. God should, like, God's monogram should be like a giant ear. It should just be like, I'm listening. Yes, God. Can you believe this great awakening stuff? I'm listening. Yeah, God. I don't know. Lots of disinformation shills are on the airwaves right now. Watch out for them. Watch out for people that are out there pushing very, very grandized ideas. Watch for people saying that I have a connection within the military that's telling me that this is happening. Now listen, maybe it's happening. But make sure it happens before you go and listen to the next thing they say is going to happen. A lot of that going on right now. It's your duty as an awoke patriot to use an ounce of discernment through any of these shills, especially the ones that are pushing out merchandise and they're pushing out, their monthly subscriptions and stuff. And I'm guilty. There's a couple that I follow that I give a monthly subscription to. I trust them. I do. Because these are the same channels that are in some part telling you, hey, watch out. People are ripping our content off. People are trying to monetize our content on other platforms, and they've already been banned from those platforms. I mean, these are trustworthy people that come out with this information. And outlandish claims from anybody saying they know somebody that knows something about any of this shit should at least be taken with the largest grain of salt that they make on the planet. At least the biggest. So please do that, because you'll drive yourself nuts. If you start thinking about all the different things that people are starting to throw around, and again, mostly it has to do with monetizing and trying to get you to send some money their way. And if you felt led to do it, do it. If you feel like you want to send money, do it. But just use a little discernment, because there's so many out there, man, that are just so stupid. They're so dumb. And these are big names that are in the. These are people that I claim to know people that have inside source. It's all garbage, man. It's all bullshit. Everything is not that difficult. Everything is pretty simple. The plan has been laid out. Everything is moving in motion. Anybody that claims to know anything or have any kind of anything is just grifting. They're grift. They're grifting. They're grifting. I'll be back. Yeah, we got nothing going on here. Dead air. Dead air. That's how it goes on Tuesday nights. Yes, sir. Toyota Kawasaki is in Indiana. It's my neighbor to the south. So, as we move forward, Maricopa County audit, I feel like that's been something that's come out of my mouth a half a dozen times over the past like 4 months, or maybe more than that. um, I'm hearing from Senator Wendy Rogers that we're going to hear about the Maricopa County audit. They're waiting on some pieces. I don't know. Kind of feels like, honestly, it feels like everything is all waiting right now in a holding pattern. Wherever it is, it feels like all these different agendas have been pushed to where they're supposed to be. And now they're just waiting, and they're circling the airport, and they're just waiting to get their command to land. Like all the pieces are in motion, and they're just hovering. They're all just waiting. Red 5. Red 5. X-22. Meow. Meow. And they're just starting to, well, they're not starting to, but it feels like they could be starting ready to call this in. And it's going to be boom, 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 boom. There will be no defense. There will be no defense for what's about to come out. And it's going to come fast and furious. And it's going to be one haymaker after another. Kerpow. That's why the riots will be quelled quickly. There's no momentum in the movement. Not for the left. There's nothing. It's garbage. It's shit. There's nothing that the left has that anybody wants. There's nothing. Literally nothing. They can't draw a crowd. They can't do anything. The jig is up. They know the jig is up. They're scared. We can't let this go to 2022. We can't let this go to 2024 for the next election. There's no way we can let all that be implemented. This is coming to a head soon. Soon. Very soon. Wallace says, look for the recall elections. Yeah. I mean, that's one other facet of all of it. It's all of these things that are converging at the same time. Gavin Newsom's recall. Maricopa County audit. Trying to launch an audit in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. States that Trump won, like Oklahoma. They're launching these forensic audits. They're going to get to the bottom of this. And it's going to make everybody feel great about casting their vote in 2022. We're going to feel fine. We're going to feel like, you know what? I think my vote really matters. Now, what's going to happen between now and then? I don't know, but it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely revolutionary of how we're going to get from right now to then. I think on the issues of the pandemic, well, it's been proven that you've got therapeutics that work. You've got at least 2 or 3 or 4 therapeutics that work, that absolutely annihilate the emergency use authorization of a vaccine. Annihilate it, but they won't touch it. Mainstream television won't touch it. Nobody will touch it. Nobody will report on it. Nothing. And why? You already know. They have their marching orders. They have handlers. They can't. They're not allowed to. If they do, they'll be admonished. Banished forever. Gone from multi. Gone from mainstream television. They'll be finished. It all dries up. They'll be done. And they've made their bed and they can sleep in it. They probably did have their chance to get out. And some it won't matter because they're probably really not corrupt people. They just followed a business decision. But some of them, they got problems. And some of them are going to have real problems of a seditious and treasonous nature. We've so much has been shown and told that that's the case. It's not great. I see why a lot of these people aren't sleeping at night. I get why their anxiety is through the roof. I get why Rachel Maddow is retiring. They're not really having fun. People that are losing aren't having fun, and they've gotten their ass kicked for 4 years. Not just lost, ass beat. Ass, welcome to hand. Ass beat. These people have been, and think about it, man. Oprah's off the air, right? Ellen's off the air. Maddow's about to go away. The Five, or not the Five, the who are those freaking Whoopi Goldberg and the View. The View has been getting re-landscaped. They can't handle it. They're losing. which is what losers do when they lose, is they leave because they're losers. You're a filthy loser. Okay? Loser. Filthy loser. But they're leaving network television. You're getting people like Britney Spears that are starting to speak up some weird stuff, man, that are like starting to talk about maybe her dad or handler, her money, her whole. Listen, call it what you want. Let's see how it plays out. It's strange that that's gaining momentum and light right now. That, I mean, pretty much everybody knows that she was handled from a child until now, right? I mean, everybody pretty much knows her dad's kind of a POS. Not kind of, I mean, is, right? So there's a lot of heartache that floats around in Hollywood. And not just Hollywood, but in the elites. Nobody can quite train you for life. And with big money and people in power comes big problems that get magnified because of the big money, the big problems. I'm not saying I feel sorry for any of them. I don't. Not any of them. Nah, I don't feel sorry. Because in every situation, there's a decision to do the right thing or do the wrong thing. And that doesn't matter if you come from money or not. You, your whole life, you're going to be presented with opportunities to do the right thing or the wrong thing. And I think it's important that people get that figured out, like where that line is in their life, no matter where you come from money wise, you better get that line figured out. Because I think a lot of what we're doing on this rock has to do with how we interpret ourselves on that line. I don't know. Then again, I don't know. Just like I said, I don't know. I got no clue. Who am I? I'm no wise man. I got no sandals. I do not have bare feet. And I do not have a desert out my front door. So I don't know much. But I do know that this cause, even if it blew up terribly tomorrow, this cause would have been worth it. It is worth it. What it represents is worth it. It's all worth it. And maybe you guys have not thought about this, or maybe you have, but I can confidently tell each and every one of you that I am not the same man I was 5 years ago. I'm just simply not. And I don't mean that in the context of course, nobody is. You grow 5 years old. No, I'm a different person. I'm a different person than I was 5 years ago. It's not even close. And I'm good with it. I'm good with it. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm good with it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Being awake, being awoke. Being awoke on this level, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would not trade it for $1 billion lottery ticket tomorrow. I would not do it. I swear to God, I would not do it. To trade in my being awoke, I wouldn't. And I suspect maybe some of you would. Maybe you would, but I don't think you would. It's a pretty special gift, man. Understanding it, of course, assuming it all turns out how we think it's going to turn out, because that's got to be the caveat, right? Assuming it all works out how we think it's going to work out, I wouldn't trade it for the world. But I think it's going to turn out exactly how we think it's going to turn out. And if not, I think it will only turn out better than we thought it would turn out. I don't know. Got this spark inside of me, man. I got this fire inside of me that just says, when this is over, man, humanity is going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. We're all going to figure it out because the world's going to be a better place. It helps a lot to figure it out when the world's a better place. I suppose you figure it out both ways, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway. The philosophize. The philosophizing. The philosophies. The falafels. All that. Dee's a different person than she was a few years ago, too. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get that. This movement does something to you in the best way. In the best way. It's I think if you get the movement, I think it brings out the best in you. I really do. Guys, there's one thing that you can actually take a lot of heart in, I think. And there's something special to know that you're on the right side of humanity. Like when you stand on the doors of right and wrong, good versus evil, and you know you're on the right side of good versus evil, that's a lot. And if that's all you can take from this, that you understand good and evil, and you know the difference between you stand for good versus evil, then you have a ton more than so many people are even going to start off with. You think about how ridiculously dumb humanity is. People are stupid. They are. I see them every day. I talk to them every day. People are freaking dumb. Doesn't mean they're not worthy of love, and they're totally worthy of love and happiness, and treat them well and all that, but they're freaking stupid. Man, they're stupid. And I don't know why there got to be so many dumb people in the world, but there are. I swear to God, I meet them every day. Every day I meet them. Just the dumbest individuals you've ever met in your life. Not saying bad people, I'm saying dumb people. Yeah. All right. Well, clearly I don't have anything else to say. So that's about it. I can't even believe it's been 53 minutes. It felt like a minute. All right. I love you guys. Happy Tuesday. Keep watch. Watch out for the world, like what it's throwing at you. Pray for yourself, please. Pray for your friends if you got time. But definitely pray for yourself. God wants that relationship with you. He wants it with me. He's telling me, he's letting me know all the time he wants that relationship with me. And you know what? I keep trying to push it away and go, God couldn't be talking to me. You know what? He is talking to me. He is telling me he wants to have that relationship. I know he is. And if he's telling me, then he's telling you. So we have to open the door, right? Got to open the door to God. You just simply have to. It's non-negotiable. It's most certainly non-negotiable. All right. Well, you guys have a good night. Like I said, don't forget to pray. I think it's probably the most important tool we have in our toolbox, in our arsenal, in our spiritual well-being. That and friendship. We got lots of friendship. All right. Thanks for coming out, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.